if I look at China and I look at the domestic picture right now, I think it's really been out of sight, out of mind. How strong is President Xi now within China as he affects a policy with President Trump?
Well, I think there's definitely been, or there's a consensus now that there has been a serious economic downturn. My impression is that that's ongoing, and it does impact on the political environment. Okay, there isn't an electorate in the way that there is in the US or in European countries, but it does impact on Xi Jinping's ability to control his own party. So it does definitely focus minds on the trade negotiations, and I think we've got some positive news coming out there, whether it's on the forced tech transfers or whether it's on the two-way enforcement mechanism that China has been pushing for, or opioids, or we've still got some kind of stumbling blocks out there in terms of digital trade, renminbi stability. But overall, the signs have been good, and I think certainly going back to your question that economic weakness in China is an incentive for Xi Jinping and Liu He to get down there and get something done.
If the goal is a bilateral saving of face, what does President Xi want to save? How does he position himself with a unique president of the United States so that President Xi can save face?
I think it is partly about saving face at this stage. I think a deal could have been done much sooner if there hadn't been kind of this kind of negative equilibrium of escalation on both sides. But it probably does go a little bit farther than saving face at this stage, to the extent that there are reforms that the Chinese do want to make for the benefit of the Chinese economy with regards to opening up, whether that be their intention to draw capital into China, or whether that be their intention to reduce import tariffs and to make things easier for households and for private consumption to lead growth. Whether they're successful in that is a different story, but certainly the reforms that are being talked about between Liu He and Robert Lighthizer are going to help in that direction. So it is partly about saving face. I think there's enough common ground there for them actually to produce something slightly more meaningful than just saving face, and certainly pull back from this the precipice of stepping into an overt trade war.
Freya, good morning. Guy in London. Can I ask you to what extent the China-US talks are a benchmark for how the US European talks will go?
I think to a certain extent we can say that they are a benchmark, in the sense that things have to get worse before they get better, which is not great news in the immediate future. But certainly there's been a pattern to these talks. There's been an escalation. There's been a kind of a turning point, which the political environment in the US did feed into that with the midterm elections in November, and with the government shutdown from Mr. Trump's perspective, causing a kind of a greater incentive to try to carve out a political win. So to a certain extent, it depends on the US political schedule as to when Mr. Trump might potentially need wins, and potentially the EU-US talks will progress in a similar fashion, and also with Japan as well.